Welcome to Incan Fitness. For those that are new to my channel, my name is Anthony. I am someone who went from skinny to fit, and these videos are purely educational. So this way, if you guys are also someone on the skinnier side, then you can take what you're learning inside these videos, apply it, be consistent with it, and get your own results inside of the gym. If you are someone though looking for one-to-one coaching, the link for that will be down below in the description. So feel free to check that out. But enough about that. Let's get straight into the video for today, where I'm going to be showing you guys how to put on size if you are tall and skinny, because it's actually a lot more simpler than a lot of people out there make it out to seem in the fitness industry. So it's very quite simple. Yes, it's actually very stupid simple to go from super skinny and tall to packing on some size, right? So with me saying that, the way to get results consistently is, of course, number one, be consistent with everything that I'll share with you here today. But number two is that you need to focus on the three pillars of fitness that deliver all the results, right? All the results. So training, nutrition, recovery, those are the three pillars of fitness that will generate the most results for you inside of your fitness industry. Not the most, all of your results inside of your fitness journey, right? There's really nothing else that's going to deliver you results outside of these three pillars right here. So nothing else matters other than those three areas. So focus on that, on those three areas. If someone tells you, oh no, you need to do, I don't fucking know, like ice baths or red light therapy to get the most incredible physique if you're a tall, skinny guy, they're feeding you a fucking platter of bullshit, because that does not at all promote or increase muscle growth or anything like that whatsoever. Yes, they're good in their own respective ways, but for you to build muscle through doing those things, like, no, that's just a load of shit right there. You need to focus on these three pillars alone, and that's it. So let's cover each pillar one by one. So let's start off with training. You need to train hard inside of each of your training sessions. There's no getting around that. You actually need to exert yourself, right? Because what is the point of going to the gym if you're not going to exert yourself a bit? There is no point. And of course, like if you're probably on the older side of things, like 60s or 70s, then yeah, maybe like you're not gonna be able to exert yourself as much, but just a little bit is gonna go a far. It's gonna take you very far, so more than you're used to. Now, if you follow this training formula that I'll share with you, and if you be consistent with it as well as your eating side of things, as well as your rest and recovery, you will see results. There is no doubt about that in my mind, right? Because this is what's helped me get results from doing stupid bullshit stuff that didn't even give me any results or near the results that I have now to this day when I first started off my fitness journey several years back. So follow this training formula. Do 2 sets by 6 to 8 reps. Ideally, within that rep range, if you pick a moderately heavy enough weight or a moderate weight, you should hit failure within that rep range right there. So that's what I mean by exerting yourself, training with high intensity, training till failure. Perfect form. So I like to have a little counting scheme in the inside of my head. So every time you begin the movement, you explode on the way up, right? So bicep curl, for example, you start the way up, boom, you're up here in the, in this up fixed position. And then on the way down, the negative portion of the movement, have a 3-second count. Make sure to control the movement, 1, 2, 3. And then at the bottom of the movement again, the stretch portion, have a nice 1-second pause to really feel that deep stretch in there. It should be burning at this point as well. And then you explode back up. Maybe not at the first rep, but by reps 3, 4, or maybe even 5, you start to feel the burn, and that's when reps 6 through 8 start to be a really big challenge, and you actually have to, you have to mentally fight your body physically that wants to drop the weights and just wants to give up altogether. So that's kind of that's the count scheme that I have in my head every time I do each rep. That's really making each rep count. So that way you get the most out of each single rep, and that each rep is actually going to promote some sort of muscle growth, right, to the specific muscle group that you're hitting that particular day. As far as rest times goes, in between sets, I like to rest for 3 minutes, just because that's a really good sweet spot for me to catch my breath, really get really good rest, so that way I can carry the same intensity that I did for the first set on to the second set. And then last but not least, we have progressive overload. If you don't know what progressive overload is, check out my past 2-3 videos and you'll learn more about it inside those videos. But progressive overload is the foundation for hypertrophy training. So definitely, if you don't know what that is, check out my last videos. For those wondering about exercise selection it really does not matter what exercise you do as long as you do it with good form and follow the training formula. I know there's a lot of talk about optimal training. What is the most optimal way to train certain muscle groups, right? You have different people doing different exercises that, that have been around for a while, just haven't been popularized as much as this present day, right? Because there's a lot more science behind lifting, and henceforth there's a lot more science-based lifters out there. I know there's been a couple OG ones back in the day, but not as common as you see nowadays. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. I'm sure you've seen that all the time within TikTok, maybe Instagram, YouTube as well. But there's a lot more science-based lifters nowadays that put out really good information, and a lot of them say you have to perform, or not have to, but certain exercise hit certain muscle groups a lot better compared to other exercises, which there's truth in that, yes, of course. But in my opinion, the best way or the best exercise that there is really any exercise that you want to do, so long as you're doing it with proper technique, you're not ego lifting, you're not swinging your body around, and that you're actually exerting yourself within each set that you perform within that given exercise. As far as exercise order goes, in my opinion, there is a right and wrong way to set up or the order of your exercises. I personally always like to start off my exercises with compound movements first. If I have a compound lift set up for that day, just because compound movements or compound exercises like bench press, deadlift, squats, leg press, and there's a few others probably. They really exert a lot of your energy, so they leave you really out of breath, just because it does utilize more than just one muscle group when you do those particular movements. So I like to get those out of the way first, just because when I start the gym, I want to start with the hardest exercise first, so that way I can do it while I'm at my freshest, and then I can move on to the rest of my exercises, which happen to be isolation movements. So that's when I work out only one given muscle group within that given exercise. Now, nutrition side of things, this is also very simple. Since we are looking to put on size, we must eat in a caloric surplus. There's no getting around it. There's no taking special supplements or a special pill that helps us gain weight or eat mass amounts of calories, and essentially not having us do all the hard work of having to eat after our training sessions. So no, we have to eat a good bit, since we are tall and skinny. If you have trouble finding your maintenance calories, I recommend watching my last video. I teach you how to find your maintenance calories. But once you find your maintenance calories, come back to this video right here, so that way you can go ahead and add 300 to 500 calories on top of that maintenance, because that signifies that is your surplus calories, right? So for example, if you have a maintenance of 2,500 calories, let's just say we're going to add on 500 more calories on top of that, and which equals 3,000 calories total. 3,000 calories is our surplus calories. Anything way over within this range of the 3 to 500 range, it's just going to cause us to gain unnecessary fat that we don't need, right? Because the goal here is to gain anywhere between 0.5 to 1 pound of body weight per week. We can push it to 2 pounds, but that is really pushing it. Anything more than 2 pounds, in my opinion, is just way overboard, way overkill, and you're going to gain more fat than you would muscle. Or, excuse me, let me rephrase that. You'll gain more fat that you really don't need. Apart from that, make sure to hit 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you weigh. There's a lot of talks that say you don't need 1 gram exactly, but I always say it's best to overeat in protein rather than undereat in protein. So that's why I always say, just hit 1 gram, make it easier for yourself. That's it. Do not cut out junk food at all whatsoever. Just use it in a more strategic way. So what I mean by this is that instead of just viewing junk food as something you eat all the time, right, and make it easier for you to gain some extra calories, use it in a way where if you feel like you're tired of eating certain meals on a day-to-day basis, you can swap out one of those meals for a cheat meal, and you'll be good to go. It makes the bulk more sustainable, more enjoyable, and it leaves you feeling happier as well. So that's what I mean by using it in a more strategic way. Definitely don't use it or don't eat junk food all the time, because then you're definitely going to get into that territory where you're eating thousands of calories above your maintenance calories, and then you're going to gain fat that you don't need. You're going to feel shittier. You're not only physically but mentally and emotionally as well. and it's just gonna leave you feeling just not good overall, right? It's gonna make you feel like you want to quit your fitness journey. So don't let that happen. Be very disciplined with junk food. Not very disciplined, but just disciplined where you don't binge eat or overeat in a sense. And I understand there's different mental health problems that arise, when it comes to binge eating, these, certain different eating disorders, right? Which I'm very empathetic about and totally in the same page on or with. So definitely, if you are someone that struggles with binge eating, whatever it is, seek out the proper help that you need to help you overcome those issues. But as far as junk food goes, just use it in a more strategic way. If you feel like you're gonna go way overboard with it, then consider just cutting it out altogether, just to not give you that wiggle room to essentially let you, binge eat or whatever it is that you struggle with, right? So if you struggle with that, cut it out completely, junk food. Get the help that you need so that way you don't have to cut out junk food forever. Because in my opinion, once you begin cutting out certain foods or any foods, that's when things start to get very hard mentally, right? That's gonna allow for you or allow for that disorder, the mental health or the eating disorder, excuse me, to get worse in itself because it has a control over you. So you don't want it to control you. You want to overcome it. You want to grow through it. And you just want to get the help that you need when it comes to that. So definitely, if you're in that boat, get the help that you need. But yes, definitely use it in a more strategic way if you feel like you need to. Liquid calories, last point right here is are your best friends. Is your best friend? What the hell? Can't even type today. So as far as liquid calories goes, you can make some really tasty, high calorie shakes. Now, whether you put protein powder in it or not, completely up to you. But if you have the budget for protein powder, I recommend buying it, just so that way you can, help yourself a little bit more when it comes to hitting your protein goals. So feel free to do that, or feel free to buy the protein supplement if you need it. But you don't need it at all whatsoever. If anything, I just recommend looking up on Google, protein shake recipes or mass gainer shake recipes or high calorie shake recipes without protein powder, right? So that way you get a good array of list upon list upon list of different recipes for you to try out and see which one sticks with you the most. So that way you can, have a really good high calorie shake to drink every now and then. It shouldn't be a meal replacement at all whatsoever. Unless you want to shit liquid every day, if you want to do that, by all means go ahead. But I don't recommend making it a meal replacement every single day. If anything, once per day is more than enough. Anything more, it's just gonna upset your stomach, and again, you're just gonna poo liquid, and no one wants to poo liquid. It doesn't feel good. Now, last 2 points: just make sure to weigh yourself once per week to ensure you're making progress. It can be on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day floats your boat. I recommend weighing yourself when you're done using the bathroom. So when you're done pooping and peeing, make sure to just be in your underwear only. And make sure not to drink any water. Make sure not to have any food in your system, so that way you get the most accurate reading of your weight. And again, first thing in the morning. Track all of your meals using MyFitnessPal or another app. I use MyFitnessPal all the time just because I really like it. Super simple to use and easy. So just make sure you're tracking your meals in general, because you want to make sure what you're putting. You want to make sure you know what you're putting inside of your body, right? As far as data and metrics goes, so that way you can see if you need to eat a little bit more or eat a little bit less, or whatever the case might be. Because maybe you're gaining weight too rapidly, or maybe you're just not gaining weight at all whatsoever. And that's why it's also important to weigh yourself once per week, so that way you know if you're gaining weight, not gaining weight, maintaining weight, whatever it is. Recovery, the most simplest slide out of everything I've shown you guys here for today. Just sleep for 7 hours or more per night. That's it. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more to say about that, so I'll just leave it there. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, you guys. It does really help out my videos get pushed out there in the YouTube algorithm. So please make sure to comment down below if there's something that you want to see in terms of a video idea. Just make sure to like in general. Make sure to give me a subscribe if you feel like this was valuable for you all. One more time, if you are someone looking for personalized coaching, the link for that will be down below in the description. So feel free to check that out. But until the next one, guys, much love to you all. Take care, peace, and until the next one.